Tuesday, so Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the West Valley School Board Board of Directors meeting. It is Tuesday, August 8th. The audio is working well. It's Tuesday, October 8th, 7 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Changes to the agenda.
No changes, but we did receive a communication to the board.
Okay, yes.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, we'll just add that as C.
Okay.
Letter from Daisy.
Yeah, we'll announce that as 5C. 5A, response to public comments.
There's no response. There was no comment last time.
Okay. And Dr. Finch talked to us about 5B staff retirement recognitions.
Well, we usually do this in the spring, but we had some over the summer, and we certainly want to recognize our retiring staff members. And I do know that we have Rachel McLaughlin in the audience. So Rachel has 6 years of service with West Valley, and that is as a paraeducator at Tannen Valley. So Rachel, come on up. Let's give her a hand.
Shake a hand.
You get handshakes all around.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming to the meeting. Are there any other retirements out there? All right, wonderful. And what's your name? I'm sorry. Jan, wonderful. So Jan Kautzman, here we go. So Jan is also here this evening. So Jan, come on up. So Jan's production cook. And her hire date was January 29th, 1991. That's 33 and a half years of service. Thank you so much, Jan.
Thank you.
And then handshakes all around.
Thank you so much for the hard work. That's amazing.
Congratulations for coming. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, any others in person? Okay, and it's fine if you sneak out. We'll go ahead and read for the record, though. We'd like to share all the years of service. We have quite a lot here. So Cheryl Burrow, bus driver, her hire date was 9/18 of 96. That's 28 years of service. Christine Cullen was hire date of 9/15/21, so 3 years of service, served as a bus driver for us. Rose Pollen, production cook, hire date November 9th, 1987, 36 and a half years of service in West Valley. Russ Tuman was most recently as our Director of Student Experience at the Innovation Center. He also served as teacher and administrator at the mid-level campus. Hire date was August 25th, 1994, so 30 years of service in West Valley. Kimberly Walker, teacher at White Hollow. Hire date was 8/26 of 91, so 33 years of service. And then Magdalena Sanchez, she just finished. I think her last day was in September 30. So Magdalena was in our IT department and served for 14 years of service in West Valley. So really appreciate all of our staff members here with their recent retirement, and we wish them the best. Thank you.
Excellent. One of the things that we enjoy in the West Valley School District are a lot of long-term employees that spend their entire professional career with us, and that's certainly something to be very proud of in this district. Thank you, Dr. Finch.
Sure, thank you.
Item 5C, just want to say for the record that today we received a correspondence from a parent, Daisy Perez, who wrote a letter to the board and addresses several issues about building security issues, playground security issues, and just general systemic issues regarding security in the school district. And just conversing with Dr. Finch prior to the meeting, There are some items, he's previously met with Ms. Perez, but not on all of the issues that are raised in her letter, and Dr. Finch will follow up on that. So I just wanted to note that for the minutes.
Yes, as you said, I did meet with Daisy and discuss some of the items, but there were others that she brought up here, so I'll definitely reach out to her again and listen to some other concerns that she expressed in the letter. So thank you.
Very good. Item 6, school presentation. We're happy to be at Summit View. We're mixing up the order of the schools. We usually come later in the year, so we're happy to be out here. Dr. Finch, would you like to introduce the program this evening?
Well, I really appreciate a large number of staff members that are here this evening from Summit View. And we're going to go ahead and ask the board to join the audience so we can see the PowerPoint. And Principal Eva Lust will lead the presentation. So thank you, Eva.
All right, thank you guys. I am excited to be moving forward with the strategic plan and with goal 1 of a culture of safety and belonging. Some of you, we have been working hard through our professional development for multiple years in getting people trained in restorative practices. We've implemented some of our own little things. Like we have morning stations where every staff member is in a certain spot. So the kid sees in that first 3 seconds, gets a good morning, a hello, a how are you, a hey buddy, do you need to go talk to Mrs. Whitehead? You know, just to kind of get a pulse. I found a study through, it's on my phone. I'll quote it in a second, but it just said it found that there's a 34% increase in academic engagement and a 67% reduction of disruptions in activities that are pro-social activities like morning meetings and morning greetings. And this can ultimately reduce disruptions by up to 75%. So I'm hoping that we can keep growing in these practices. Some other things that we've done is we've given a dedicated time to community circles in the morning, and typically from 9 to 9:15, but there are some staff members that do it at a different time. My goal, of course, is that it happens daily in every classroom, but just that it's happening in every classroom, for me, it's just really important. And I'm seeing the familiarity with it and teachers being able to use what they're learning during community circles in their teaching and relating to their students. Another welcoming thing that we have started this year is we started a leadership team. We're 4th grade teachers nominated. How many did? 5, 4? And then I picked a couple few. And we had them teach our PBIS lessons to all the kids those first few days of school. We're having them do our morning announcements, the flag salute. They're helping with our awards assemblies. They're helping at recess. And we're starting to get some other 5th graders like, how can I be on leadership? Or how'd they get to be on leadership? So we'll probably add a few more kids as we go. But again, just a way of growing that community. And I think there's an intentionality of me asking Ambria to present. There's that study of music and your brain and how it can be calming and it can get you ready to, be present in your practice and to open yourself up. If you have not been to a Summit View musical performance, Ambria is magical. And if you're having a really bad day, go into the music room and just see what she gets those kids to do, and just her interactions and everything that she does with those kids is just to be celebrated. So with that, Ambria Boss.
Thank you very much, Ms. Les.
Yes,
I
of
appreciate
course.
that very, very
Well,
kind
it's-
introduction.
It's very true.
Well, thank you. Before I begin with that, I did kind of want to continue on with what Ms. Les was saying about our welcoming in the morning. Since we've done that with Angela asking us to be in different areas, I personally am in the cafeteria, and I would say, I mean, it's great for my morning. I really like to see them, but we can kind of pinpoint the kids that come in with a bad day. You know, they're slamming the backpack. It's like, oh, you know, kind of what you were saying, you know, let's check in. And so I have found that is really helpful to have staff members available instead of just, you know, we're all working, and, you know, we all want to have that time, but I feel like it's really showing tenfold with that amount of time, 20 minutes in the morning, that we can be out there.
Can I
So
jump in one more?
yeah, please.
So I forgot to mention,
Yeah.
first of all, thank you for getting the resources together for our community and schools advocate, and for the mental health the social worker intern. It's 2 more people that are helping us with our kids. And we have started PBIS rewards this year. And I'm going to do a plug because it'd be great if everybody were able to do it. But what we have started doing is the morning check-in, where the kids come in, they get on the computer, they rate themselves on a 1 to 5. Anybody that's a 4 or a 5, Trisha and I get a notification. Does Berenice get one too?
I think she's on her computer.
She's on her computer, okay. And so the CIS person gets it. And then our goal is by 10 o'clock, anybody that's marked as stressed or angry, we can just touch base. And we're finding sometimes they're like, oh, I just was grumpy on the bus and now I'm fine, but thanks for checking, or my grandpa passed away, or and then we are finding some kids that we're getting on a legit check-in, check-out because they're like multiple days. So that's one piece of the PBIS rewards. Next year at our board presentation, we'll talk more about that because we'll be better at it. Okay.
All right. So over the summer, actually, I was kind of thinking about this phrase, and I was thinking about having a safe environment, not only physically, but mentally, to explore new things and to be safe with each other, to know that we can try new things. And so I really do feel like creating a safe and positive space for meaningful work is what I would like to give to the kids. And meaningful work, that's a big piece of it. What is meaningful to them, and what do they want to do? And so I want to start by talking about my connections to the state standards here. But of course, here we go. Yeah, you might have to. Oh, do I have to point it to the computer? Oh, well, there we go. Got it. So first, I'd like to connect with the state standards and talk about, first of all, enduring understanding. And this isn't necessarily something that I would talk with to them, but as the teacher, I think, what are we doing in the classroom with these students? So evaluating and refining their work through openness to new ideas, that's that safety. Persistence, not giving up when it's hard, and the application of appropriate criteria. And next, I'll show you the badge books that I feel scaffold really nicely in with this appropriate criteria. So we talk about evaluating our work. And when I say artwork, I mean works of art and works of music. I keep doing that. Can I put that right there? And then the other one, I can refine artwork, which is also a big deal, because not only do we need to see and be able to evaluate, is it right or is it wrong, I guess, and how can we make it better? Even looking into that a little bit more with the question, why do musicians improve the quality, how do the musicians improve the quality of their creative work? So how do we break this down? Evaluating and assessing would be like, what do I like, what do I don't? Like I said before, refine and practice. We talk about this every day, and especially you'll get to see in just a moment, my 4th and 5th graders are doing an ensemble right now, and it is hard, and they want to stop. But we talk about those practice techniques, break it down, learn it in sections, take a second and talk to your friend, that's okay. Learn from yourself and learn from others, and then take risks. And what is that like? What are those risks? So once I kind of go from that big perspective, These are the general targets that we look at every day, kinder through fifth, and we make our bow and arrow, and we either shoot to 1, 2, or 3. And I'm not sure if you want to do any call and response with me, but my students say it back to me. And so I'll say, I can listen. They say, I can listen. Audiation, audiation. I can hear it in my mind. And so I'm teaching them by saying it over and over. They like roll their eyes when we have to say it. But in their mind, they're understanding that to hear the music correctly in their mind is the first step in playing it outwardly. I can blend. So blending with the singer right beside me, we say, I can blend with the singer right beside me. And when we do that activity, we can hear if we're blending. And then I can play. We say, I can play instruments correctly. We'll say, hold mallets properly. Play instruments musically, so that's not banging on them, and then practice to improve. So these are K-12, K-5. Yeah, maybe. And then I didn't take a picture of it because it changes weekly, but on my other board, I have specific targets for K through 5. But looking at these, the badges, this year, the PE teacher and I decided to make posters that scaffolded this way and color-coded because, we're teachers. So we have to figure that out. But so we went through, and it's nice because I can point to these and say, remember last year, we were just keeping a steady beat in kindergarten. But now your rhythm badge, which is right next to it, we're doing ta, ti, and rest with the steady beat. So they're able to see that scaffold through and without me talking about each one of them. But another piece this year that we're going to try because of the ownership of the badge and them understanding, I've created little packets for each class that has just their music badges. So when they get them, they can stamp it. So we'll see how that goes. And then also, like I said before, it's a good refresher, getting to see what was before and what's to come. Now in 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they get grades. They get behavior and effort and demonstrates concepts and skills, and that's 1 through 4. But anyway, I'm not going into that. So universal design for learning, I feel, is very prevalent in my class, in the ensembles, especially as they get older. But because they are working together, they're choosing their own instruments. And again, they have to persevere and keep trying. So the state standard here, I can practice to improve. On the next slide, you'll see a video. So I'm just going to go right to that. And you can see them practicing and watch the tambourines. On the last one over there, just goes back. You can't see it because the other instrument was in the way, but 2 students were facing each other with their instruments and then playing backwards, which I always kind of is surprising to me that they can do that, but they can learn from each other, facing each other. And so what was interesting with the tambourines is, the one girl is just doing this, but then it takes one kid. Okay, guys, 1, 2, 3, and they go. And I love that they do that on their own. It seems simple, but getting that timeline is pivotal. We have to have that. So it's cool to see them doing that together. And then this is a ukulele practice.
All right, it's time for us to be done today.
Okay. And that is a group of students that chose to play ukulele. So also all of the instruments that they were at, they got to choose. It takes time. It takes me, from the beginning of the year I've started, but I've learned that really helps in the end, because otherwise it's the day before and you're like, you can do it. And they're like, no, I don't want want to. So when they want to do it, it's a lot easier for me in the end. I'm going to make this part quick. So music, I believe that it really helps with reading. I didn't check with any of the teachers, so maybe give me feedback if I miss anything here. But I feel like rhythm and melody really lend themselves to improving reading skills. As I watch my kids, and I've got an example here, read really hard words. For example, the word emblem. We've been talking about the emblem of the land I love. And a lot of them say emblem, or like they don't say it correctly. But when we sound it out on the board, then they see it and they can say it. So that's just one way that I see them learning. And again, the students listening and then audiating what they hear. So as they're listening, they're hearing the words, they're seeing them, but they aren't necessarily singing them. I think that that's helping with their reading. They begin to memorize by listening, and then as they're reading and singing, it forms more, just, having more ways to grasp it, kinesthetically, visually, orally. And this empowers them to feel, gosh, darn smart. They love it. They love it when they can say, oh, I know what that word is, or even picking out the rhythms that go with the words. And songs, we can all think of songs that we knew when we were kids. And so they really do. Melody and rhythm, I do think, help lend themselves to reading. And this is an example of a turn and talk. So in small groups, I ask them to compare the A section and the B section. What is the same and what is different?
We are turn and talk and talking about the things that are the same and talking about the things that are different from the A and B section.
There's lyrics on the screen.
Notice and what you be talking to your groups about. Now, about everyone. So A section has anything, B section has anything, and then our program is anything. Good. What else did you notice about those different sections? So what sections have those? Yeah. So the first two lines, the first line of A.
So we continue to talk through, and they talk to me about the patterning, and then that actually really helps them memorize the songs, because then they can see that things repeat. The last piece is I've been starting to do more fine arts because we have had the freedom to try new things, and so we're exploring the 7 elements of art, as well as learning the ukulele is how I ended up putting it together right now. But I did a Donors Choose project this summer. Thank you, Cassie, for helping me with that. And I got Play-Doh, tools, and the craft boards. And so we're going to use those to create form. But in this specific example, the students, half of the class were along the risers, and then half of the class were playing the ukuleles. On the risers, they were doing that criteria right there. So I can draw or use Play-Doh to show musical ideas. And I know I've got it when I've created symbols with my Play-Doh. So they had those sheets in front of them and they created those symbols. And again, I feel like this does give student choice because they can choose what they're making. And I guess they didn't get to choose necessarily what group they're in, but I'm setting them up to have multiple groups at once. This was with 2nd grade. So there's some pictures. I'm very thankful to Miss Lust for how she allows me to run my program as well, because she's always there for me when I have questions and when I need things and guidance. But she's also very open and willing to let me try things. If I come to her with an idea, a lot of the time she's like, yeah, let's do it. And so I'm very thankful to be able to have that, the freedom, but also the ability to know that I have the guidance and the help when I need it. So thank you for letting me do all of these things in my classroom. And then, so that's just them doing the Play-Doh. So these are 2nd graders. The other ones were 4th graders. So you can see some backwards ukuleles. So thank you. Thank you very much for letting me present today. I'm not sure how long that was, but I apologize if I went long. On behalf of the fine arts teachers in West Valley, I would like to thank you for the instruments that you've provided us these past few years. Those 2 Bono drums, we make good use of them. And then also those ukuleles, I'm trying my best. So thank you so, so much. And thank you for your support, and thank you for your support of Summit View.
Questions or? Okay.
Come back up so that it gets up.
I appreciate all, sorry.
Go ahead.
Mike.
Go ahead.
I do appreciate all the teachers and everything that you do, and the fact that you all showed up tonight, because I know you didn't have to. I appreciate you, Mrs. Lesson. One of the things that really intrigued me was in the beginning, you had mentioned, and Mrs. Bosch, you did an incredible job too as well. But you mentioned I think it was 34% active engagement from teachers resulted in 67% less disruptions, which was, and then to hear of the PBIs of the kids checking in the morning is really, I think it's great, because I think kids, anybody really, when you're there for them in their time of need, that's when they get that sense of belonging. But I'm just curious, do you have like 100% participation of the kids in that every single day, or is that
So we're just up until today, we had 5th grade, 1 3rd grade teacher, and then kinder and first, they are doing popsicle sticks in 5 different cups, and then we walk through and check that way. Just because getting them on the computers and stuff can sometimes take a while. But we are starting we had a PBIST meeting this morning, and we're going to start moving forward with having for the rest of the 2nd through 5th graders do the check-in, and we'll just see how it goes.
2nd grade today just did our first check-in.
You did? All right.
Learning how to do it, so it was exciting.
Good.
I have one question. Just out of curiosity, by the way, fantastic job, not just on the presentation, but the work you're doing. It sounds like a really wonderful effort, and things are going well. How did you come to the 34% though? That was just a curious question.
It was a quote I got off of Edutopia, and it just says, simple words of greetings and encouragement can dramatically improve classroom dynamics. The study found that welcoming students at the door increased academic engagement by 34% and reduced classroom disruptions 67%. Likewise, a second study concluded that pro-social activities like morning meetings can reduce disruptions by up to 75%.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions? Well, Mr. Kephart stole my thunder, because I had some similar kudos. Again, thank you so much for coming tonight, and Ms. Bosch, you did a wonderful job, and the whole team for being here today. And I just want to say in closing, I just think that it's great that you are all being intentional about creating a daily connection with these students. I mean, just putting putting to the side the valid data for a second. How good does it feel on a daily basis when you connect with another human being? Yeah. Whether it's the adults, the kids, that's just contagious, and that's just being a good person. And so that's just a little thing that can go a long way to not just our students, but everybody. And so thank you for making a difference.
I've taken some notes. I'm going to move the table forward. Put your head on the screen. We're going to move the benches back so we're not sitting in each other's laps.
It's all right.
So, all right.
No worries. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
I think I'm going to release everybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item 7, which is public comment on non-discussion agenda items. At this time, we'll open it up for public comment. As just a reminder, this is a time to address the school board on any matter that they would like, that the person would like, but it is not a time to have specific or address concerns about a specific staff member. If you have those concerns, I would encourage you to make an appointment with Dr. Finch. Did anybody sign up this evening? That's okay. If anybody would like to address the board at this time, they're welcome to do so. I don't know where you would come and speak. Oh, we have the microphone right there. Okay, well, nobody is jumping up, so I'll go ahead and close the public comment period and move us to item 8, which is approval items. We have approval of minutes from our school board meeting on the 24th of September. The meeting minutes were in the packet, and I entertain a motion to approve those minutes as presented.
So moved.
Thank you. A call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Next up, we have a couple of travel requests. One is for a math conference, sending up some teachers up to Whistler, BC, and then a girls varsity basketball tournament over in December to Lake Oswego, Oregon. The information is in the school board's packet, and I'd entertain a motion to approve those travel requests as a group.
I'll motion to move.
Thank you. Mr. Caphart makes a motion. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion carries 5-0. Action items. First up, item A, 9A is resolution 2410-769. This is an annual task of the board. There's a memo about cancellation of outstanding warrants. So these would be basically checks that are outstanding that haven't been cashed. And so we have an annual duty to report those unclaimed funds to the Department of Revenue Unclaimed Property Division. And so that requires a resolution of the Board of Directors. Anything else to add, Dr. Finch?
No, nothing else.
Okay. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve resolution 2410-769, cancellation of warrants as presented. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Another annual duty of the school board is to approve the use of school-owned vehicles, and there was a memo in the packet. It would be
Jack McCaskill and
Yes.
Jamie Schmidt.
Yep. I couldn't remember
Yeah.
if you were. I couldn't remember if you were on there or
Yeah,
not.
So Jack is our Director of Facilities and Jamie is Director for Transportation.
Yes. And for the newer school board members, I think that we've approved this every single year that for those positions since I've been on the board. So this is standard operating procedure. Any questions?
I just have one small question. What type of vehicles are these? Are they pickup trucks or just cars, automobiles?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'll have to look into that and get back to you. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. It's not a big deal. I just wondered, obviously they're for a purpose, and I'm just wondering, I'm thinking that like in the winter, they might need to go out or
Right,
something
yeah.
of that nature. Just
Right, Jamie
vehicle
rides
that-
the roads. She starts about 3:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And she's definitely 4x4 there. And then Jack's on call 24/7 on the weekends. So
Yeah.
I'll look into that. I'll get that information for
So
you.
before I ask for a motion, are you okay to proceed?
Yes.
Dr. Finch will get
Yeah,
back
it's-
to us.
It's
Okay.
not a big item.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Items arising. Just to inform the school board, next Tuesday, Mr. Heed and I are going to follow up and have the meeting with Ms. Drake and Dr. Finch on just the timeline of the instructional materials, just laying that out, following up, making sure that that process goes as well as possible. I wasn't going to say as efficient. I was just as diligent and well, And it's just our usual course of continuous improvement of everything that we do. And we want to make, it's a very serious, it's a serious topic. And so, so we'll report back on that coming up. So that's coming up. Anything else?
Just one other thing, I just comment, just happy to see that finally the Facilities Committee is preparing to get going. So that's long overdue, but very welcome at the same time.
Yep, looking forward to having our first meeting in November, and then there'll be meetings every other month after that. So we'll continue until we, really, we're focusing on a plan for the mid-level campus. What are the next steps for that campus? And we really want to have a strong community support, community engagement, and community voice when it comes to what to do there. So thank you.
Great. Anything else on items arising? Moving on to superintendent's report.
Superintendent's report is a follow-up on the work with our Native American parent group. Really appreciate Sean John, is a high school teacher who has served as a liaison with the Yakima Nation elders. Basically, in working together, they've developed land acknowledgement. And so Sean John worked with the Yakima Nation elders to review the statement. And then our Native American parent group also review and approve the statement. And so we have added that statement to our website, and we can use that in the future to begin a community meeting and such. We also put it into our procedures for family involvement so that it's there for the future. And also just want to give my appreciation not only to Sean John, but to our administrator, Geraldine Ashbaugh, working to develop the Title VI application. That's the additional funds from the Department of Education that's coming to the district this year to support our Native American students, and Geraldine organizing in cooperation with Minerva Pardo, our Director for Family Engagement, organizing the Native American parent group and having those meetings. As it turns out, because of that work, now our students are also eligible for additional support from the Johnson O'Malley funds. That comes from the Department of Interior, the Bureau of Indian Education. Those funds go directly to the Yakima Nation tribe, and then the Yakima Nation reaches out and coordinates with the district. So Geraldine's been serving as that liaison to coordinate with the Yakima Nation, so our students will get additional support from the Johnson O'Malley funds as well. And just to close this, I'd like to read the land acknowledgements. The statement is as follows. We would like to acknowledge that we're coming to you from the traditional lands of the first people of our valley, the 14 confederated tribes and bands of the Yakima Nation, and we honor with gratitude the land itself and the Yakima tribe. So that's our land acknowledgement, and we have that on the website already. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thanks, Dr. Finch. Board reports, board development.
Just a reminder that we'll be at the high school for our board meeting in 2 weeks. We will have a study session at 6 p.m. and we'll have some board development there with a representative from WVSD, and we'll take us through an activity where we look at some different scenarios and identify, is this a superintendent role? Is this a board role? Or superintendent and board working together? So I think this will be a nice activity for us. And we actually did this a few years ago, and so it's nice that we have some new board members that will take us through this similar activity. And it's a good learning experience. So that'll be a 6 p.m. study session at our next board meeting.
Thanks, Dr. Finch.
Dr. Finch, what's the name of the person coming to give that presentation?
That's a good question. It's a board member from Central Valley School District, and we actually had reached out to the trainer we had before, and she has now become the executive director for all of WVSD. So we have moved forward with the new trainer, and I have it right here. That was a little. Here we go. It will be Cindy McMullen. So she's a board member for the Central Valley School District in Spokane Valley, and she also serves on the leadership team for WVSD.
Yes.
So that's Cindy McMullen.
Okay. Great.
She's a candidate for vice president on the WVSD, right? Right now, I believe so.
Okay. Other questions or board development, board reports? All right. Well, it is 7:39 and we will adjourn school board meeting. I have some items for everybody to sign here, so I'll just start it down there.